Ignore the voices in your head. Written by Julius Kane. Narrated by Jeremy Taylor. Chapter 1. Rescued. They said last summer was the hottest on record. Animals left outside were dying, and the New York City concrete was damn near melting people's tennis shoes. There were no trees to take cover, and if you found one, there was already someone else standing underneath it. But today was hotter than that. The sun seemed to come out earlier each morning, which means as soon as I went outside, I started sweating. There's nothing worse than going to work wet and sweaty. In fact, it's downright embarrassing. That's why I always take an extra shirt along. It usually comes in handy on days like this. My boss was fussy, angry, and obnoxious. I guess he was a product of his dog-eat-dog environment. He liked us to look clean-cut and professional, in case one of our prestigious clients happened to drop by. I was a mid-level advertising executive. That simply meant I made enough money to live in New York without having a bunch of annoying roommates. However, I couldn't afford medical insurance, a dog, or a real girlfriend. At least not one that was worth having. So I went out with barflies, heavy drinkers, pole dancers, and college girls. Dropouts who spent their nights trying to find themselves. I was probably the most predictable 25-year-old in Manhattan. Go to work, go to the bar, try to get laid, go home. But yesterday, Lauren Tisdale smiled at me while getting off the elevator, and that was the highlight of my week. I waved back, casually, but inside I was super excited. By inside I mean inside my pants. Lauren Tisdale was a top-level ad executive with a body that could bring an impotent man back to life. She had the figure of a TikTok model with 1 million followers, if you can understand that analogy. She dressed smart and sexy, but not too revealing. Every guy in the building wanted her. She was a real head-turner. They all salivated like wolves whenever she was around. She was out of my league, so I figured, why bother? She never noticed me before. No matter how often I stared at her magnificent backside, every time she passed my cubicle, she never looked in my direction. But yesterday, for some reason, I caught her glare. After work, I go 2 blocks over to Johnny Ray's Bistro. They had reasonably priced hot wings and happy hour beer. I'd been going there so long I practically had my own table. It didn't hurt having the owner as a friend either. That's where I pick up those drunk barflies I mentioned. I left the bistro about 9:30 p.m. I had a nice buzz and a drunk 5'2" cougar on my arm. It was a short 15-minute walk to my building, but I decided to take a shortcut. What the hell? I wanted to get Darby, Margie, or whatever her name was back to my place before she could get sober. Women were always more lucid and freakier when plied with enough alcohol. Cute guy like you doesn't have a little woman at home? She hugged my waist as if we were a couple. No, I work too much. I don't have the energy for anything serious, you know. I sort of chuckled. My fake laugh jumped out whenever I was forced to engage in small talk. It ain't all it's cracked up to be. My husband's been cheating on me for months with my son's math teacher, Miss Crumble. She sounds like a real bitch. Crumble, she repeated the name laughing. And I saw their text messages. Disgusting. But I'm not worried. All the things he did with her, I'm going to do with you. 2 can play that game. She squeezed my butt. Well, then let's play that game. My immediate erection, that I call Stiff John, agreed. Sure, I gave my dick a name. A lot of guys do. Oh, you're so cute. She moved in close. Her breath smelled like stale draft beer. She squeezed my butt again. I smiled awkwardly, looking around to make sure her husband wasn't following her. The 5'2" woman was clearly older than me. She was fairly attractive in a construction worker kind of way. Then again, after enough beers, most women become fairly attractive. We were about a block away from my apartment when we heard the woeful cries of a cat. Yes, a feline alley cat crying. Meowing and meowing. It was
Sample complete. Ready to continue?